What do you do when the person you hurt so deeply acts like you no longer exist? That question has been echoing in my mind for weeks now. I'm Isabel, 32 years old, and somehow I became that woman. The one who shattered the most secure and loving part of her life for something fleeting and foolish. I never imagined I'd end up like this, alone in a cramped, low-rent studio apartment, the silence pressing in from all sides, surrounded by ghosts of moments I can't take back. It all began 6 years ago when I met Nathan. From the start, it felt effortless, like everything just fell into place. We hit it off right away. 8 months later, we were already living together. Within 2 years, we bought a charming little house, nestled in a quiet suburban neighborhood. 4 years into the relationship, everything became a routine. Same pattern: work, dinner, some TV, then off to bed. The excitement was gone. No more random dates, no surprise gifts, no stolen kisses that lingered a little too long. We had traded spark for stability, and with that, something in me began to stir. To everyone on the outside, we were the perfect couple. And honestly, I believed it too. He came home later than usual, and even when he was home, his eyes seemed to look through me instead of at me. Always dressed sharp, with that confident smirk and a way of making me feel like I was the center of attention whenever he looked my way. They started off about work project deadlines, schedules, but gradually, they turned personal. Music tastes, weekend plans, childhood wounds. He asked questions. He listened. He laughed at my jokes. And most dangerously, he noticed me. Just friendly. But deep down, I was craving his attention. I missed being desired. Missed the feeling of being seen. Nathan was dependable, thoughtful, the kind of man who knew how I liked my coffee and brought it to me without asking. After long shifts at work, he'd massage my aching feet. Nathan mentioned he had to work late. I saw an opening. I invited Dylan over, to our home, to the bedroom Nathan once held me in, and promised a lifetime of love. You're still young, Izzy. Don't waste your best years being bored. He never teased me about my obsession with trashy reality shows. But, with every drink we shared, every look across the office, every excuse to work I found new ways to rationalize it. Nathan wasn't paying attention. He was too distracted, too content, too oblivious to notice I was slipping away. The music was playing low, and we were too close. It just happened. I went home that night feeling like my stomach had turned to lead. But let me say this, it wasn't love, it wasn't passion, it was vanity. It was insecurity masked in soft lighting and wine-stained sheets. And some damaged, misguided part of me almost wanted Nathan to find out. But underneath the guilt, there was also a twisted rush of something I hadn't felt in years. I felt alive, I asked, keeping my voice light like everything was normal. With him, life felt secure, safe. That night, he chose the guest room without saying a word. I was in cleanup mode, scrubbing lipstick from the wine glasses, straightening pillows we never should have touched, trying to erase the evidence like it could undo what I'd done. But somewhere along the road, the passion began to fade. Maybe he'd fight for me, for us. Wait, what? Why? I asked, panic slowly tightening around my throat. You'll need to move out by next week. I noticed the shift. He didn't text me like he used to during the day, but instead of sitting down and confronting it with honesty, I started listening to voices that didn't belong in our marriage. You're settling, Kira would say during our late-night wine chats. Lana, who treated marriage like a hobby she picked up and dropped depending on the season, would nod along and say, if he's not making you feel wanted, trust me, someone else will, I cried. Or maybe it was something deeper, on instinct, a gut feeling. But, whatever it was, he knew. And worse, so did everyone else. When I called her, she didn't even pretend to be kind. He had asked me not to be there, but I stayed. I needed to hear it from his mouth. I needed the truth spoken out loud. Friends who used to invite us over, laugh with us over board games and drinks, most ignored me. Some were polite, but distant. One by one, they faded away like I was a virus they didn't want to catch. Just a stunned breath. I called. I sent desperate texts. I told him I was lost, confused, that I didn't mean for any of this to happen. And then, as if summoned by those words, Dylan arrived. He was the new guy at work. At first it was just playful conversation, office banter. Then came the messages. But instead, you chose someone else while pretending I didn't exist. I'm done. I told myself it was harmless. The first kiss happened in his car after a work happy hour, and the brutal understanding that I had destroyed the one man who truly loved me. At first, the guilt clung to me. He became Jake, as if changing his name might help erase the rot beneath the surface. Just hearing Dylan made my skin crawl. Then came the moment I can't undo. But even she flinched when I broke down and told her everything. I won't give you the play-by-play. You already know what happened. Maybe, just maybe, if he discovered the truth, he'd finally realize how far apart we drifted. Like we were some tragic love story. Like any of it meant anything. I found a new job that paid less, but at least no one there knew what I'd done. I could hide in the quiet anonymity of strangers. But he didn't fight. He doesn't owe me a second chance. And I don't deserve one, all for the illusion of being wanted by someone who never truly saw me. He vanished. He came home earlier than I expected that night. I had no idea. Dylan was already gone. It's not the loneliness. It's the knowledge that I chose this. That I destroyed my own happiness with both eyes open. When Nathan walked through the door, I greeted him with a kiss like nothing had happened, but he flinched. I heard from a mutual acquaintance that he got promoted, that he was seeing someone new. And yes, she's gorgeous. The kind of woman who probably values the very things I carelessly tossed aside. How was work? Fine, he answered, short and cold. Not a single emotion crossed his face. Just one word flat, final. He didn't touch the food I made. Didn't join me on the couch. By morning, he looked at me like I was a stranger who had wandered into his life by mistake. I think we should end this, he said, eyes fixed on his coffee, as if the words were written inside the mug. I blinked. I just do. That was it. No shouting. No accusations. Just a frozen silence so thick it crushed the air between us. It hurt more than any screaming match ever could. I begged him to talk, to yell, to say something. But he wouldn't. He never responded. I tried reaching out to the people we both knew. Even his sister, who once proudly referred to me as the big sister she never had, barely acknowledged me. Are you seriously asking me that? She snapped. You know what you did? She added, then ended the call. And just like that, it all made sense. He knew. Somehow, he had found out. Maybe he came home earlier than I realized that night. Maybe a neighbor saw Dylan's car? The next time I saw Nathan was when he returned to collect the rest of his things. I saw you, he said, his voice flat, his eyes hollow, in our bed, with him. I opened my mouth, but no words came out. That wasn't a slip-up, he continued. That was a choice, a betrayal. I dropped to my knees and begged, offered counseling, explanations, remorse. But he wasn't interested. If something was wrong, you could have told me, he said quietly. And with that, he walked away. 6 years over. Just like that, all I had left was the crushing weight of what I did done. Guilt that clung to every breath. Shame that never left the room. And Dylan, he wasn't Dylan anymore in my mind. He kept trying to contact me, texts, calls, sweet little messages asking if we could finally be together, for real this time. I blocked him. Kira, my wild party friend, let me crash at her place for a few weeks. You brought him into your house? She whispered, stunned. Jesus, Izzy. Eventually, I scraped enough together to rent a small studio apartment with cracking walls and water stains in the ceiling. Meanwhile, Nathan was thriving. Sometimes I catch myself reaching for my phone, ready to type another apology, another plea for forgiveness. I never hit send. Because he was right. He doesn't owe me peace. I lost him. I lost the life we built. I lost the future we had dreamed about together. But the worst part, and now, I lie in the bed I made.